1897, Greenbrier County, West Virginia. The winter air was sharp, the kind that froze breath mid-sentence. Snow fell in quiet sheets over the Appalachian hills, burying the past under layers of white. In a small wooden home tucked between trees and frozen creeks, a young bride named Zona Heaster Shue was found dead at the bottom of the stairs. Her body stiff, her eyes wide open. Her husband, Edward, claimed it was a tragic fall, just another accident. She had fainted, he said, but something about the way her neck lay limp and the way her hands were clasped unnaturally on her chest refused to settle. They buried her quickly, as was common in the cold season. No one questioned the cause. The doctor, called hastily to the scene, only gave her a passing glance before signing the death certificate. Everlasting faint. But the quiet didn't last long, because Zona's mother, Mary Jane Heaster, started to dream. At first they were just visions, fleeting images of Zona in her wedding dress, pale and solemn, standing at the foot of her mother's bed. But then the dreams began speaking. Zona came back night after night, her voice as clear as morning frost, telling her mother that she had not died by accident. She had been murdered, strangled by her husband, Edward, and not in a fit of passion, calmly, deliberately. Mary Jane told the neighbors, then the sheriff. Few believed her, but the details Zona whispered in the night wouldn't let her sleep. 4 nights, 4 visitations. The ghost told her mother that Edward had crushed her windpipe and twisted her neck until it broke, that she had screamed, but no one heard, that she would not rest until justice came. Something about Mary Jane's conviction struck a nerve. The prosecutor agreed to exhume the body. Doctors, this time thorough, examined Zona's remains and found what her ghost had said was true. Her windpipe was crushed, her neck broken at the first vertebra, and bruising lined her throat. A clean, brutal kill. And suddenly, Edward's odd behavior made sense. His refusal to let anyone near the body during the funeral, the scarf he tied tightly around her neck, insisting it was her favorite. Edward was arrested, tried, and convicted of murder. The jury deliberated for barely an hour. He was sentenced to life in prison, but died shortly after, under mysterious circumstances. No one ever confessed. No motive was ever clear. But there was more than just the murder. After the trial, rumors spread through Greenbrier County. That Zona was not the only one Edward had harmed, that his past was filled with violence and cruelty, and that she was not his first wife to die under strange circumstances. Locals began calling Zona the girl who spoke from the grave, and her mother, Mary Jane, never wavered in her story. Yet beneath the surface, the real mystery dug deeper. The dreams, people said, weren't dreams at all. Zona's ghost had not only spoken to Mary Jane, others too claimed to feel her presence, in the woods behind the house, in the cold draft of the old church pew where Zona once sat, a candle that never stayed lit, a window that always cracked open, no matter how tightly shut. As time passed, Zona's story became legend, but the twist that many overlook is buried in the region's beliefs. In the hollers and hills of Appalachia, ghosts were not myths, they were warnings. The people there lived close to the land, close to death, and even closer to the supernatural. They believed in signs, and Zona's return wasn't a haunting, it was a reckoning. The backstory of Greenbrier County tells of women who vanished, whose cries were never heard, and whose stories were buried alongside them. Zona broke that cycle. In a time when women had no voice in court, Hers was heard beyond death. Her testimony, relayed through dreams, became the first and only time in U.S. legal history that a ghost's account helped convict a murderer. And that's what makes her story so chilling. Not just the crime, not just the ghost, but that everything the spirit said turned out to be true. The dream that became evidence, the whisper that became a scream, and the mother who believed, even when no one else did. Zona never left to haunt. She came back to be heard.